Hey guys, it's Frankie D here. Today is December the 10th, 2021. I'm 10 days into my explant. I am at my sister's house for our version of cardiac rehab. It's a lot like regular cardiac rehab. Somebody that isn't, fresh injured, making sure to tell you to get up and handle your business and get up and exercise. I haven't had any of a hard time with any of that this time, but I really enjoy my sister's company and her energy, and we haven't been able to really kick it since we've been adults, until my heart gave out at 34 years old. So, now that we've got a connection like that, I certainly won't let it go. I mean, I feel like I've got a good reason to come lay on her couch every year, if it's just for a few days, just to come and spend time with her and my nephew and my brother-in-law. They're beautiful people, and I love them. I'm not going to call their names out on the internet because they don't do that. But my nephew has a YouTube channel, and it's called Flippy Frogman. So, Flippy Frogman, this one's for you. Guys, these videos are going to change a little bit. I had been doing what I was going on in the hospital, and I'm not in the hospital anymore. I'm home free. I can run. Well, I can't run, but we'll get to that. I can exercise. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to exercise if I don't want to. But of course, if I don't, I will probably clot up and die. Now, that being said, again, I'm not in the hospital anymore, so these videos have to change. So I don't really know how that's going to work. I'm going to, I made, I wrote down a couple talking points for this one, and because I don't just want to ramble. I'm not in the hospital. You're not looking at me and my situation. This is just me getting this information to you. So that being said, I'm going to start with what they always ask you first. What is your pain level? Oh man, guys, open heart surgery 10 days ago. You would expect me to say like 7 or 8, right? No. I got up this morning, and I took one of them Oxy-10s that they give me, and I split it in half. And I took 5 milligrams of it, along with the rest of my medication, and 2 500 milligram Tylenol. Y'all, Tylenol works. But it only works if you believe it's going to. If you believe it's going to help, it will. If you believe it's not, you'll be hard pressed for it to help. But yeah, so I would say my pain level today, honestly, is a 3. I've got some tightness on this left side. I can feel where the muscle peeled back from the rib, and when it was in the spreader. And they also had to cut me a couple times right here because they had my drive line tied to my ribs on each rib. And so they had to go back and make incisions, like an inch here, an inch here, so they could just reach down in there and clip them sutures or wires or whatever they used and peel them out. But to recap, yeah, we're gonna say that all that going on and all of this and the skin stuff, everything is about a 3 on the pain scale. And the worst of the pain is on the left side, but I can tell that it's directly underneath the pectoral muscle and on top of the ribs. You get to where you can determine pretty well where this pain is in your body if you don't shut it down 100%. I can take one of those 10s every 4 hours. I only had them write me a handful. But they still wrote them out for every 4 hours, so I could go back in a week and be like, I just need a whole nother bottle of these. And they would be understanding. They would be like, well, he just had open heart surgery. It's got to hurt. And guys, it does. But last time I took a lot more medication and I hurt a lot more. And I don't know what the correlation there is. I wonder now if I could go back and treat last time like I'm doing this time, and just use my great attitude, the power of prayer and positive thought, and some Tylenol, you know, and maybe not be on all that crap that I was on for several months. I mean, but then your first thought when they cut you off is, well, I'm going to have to go buy a handful of these. And do you know what this is cost on it? No. Then you're just participating in the opioid epidemic. That's all you're doing. And I've lost enough friends to the opioid epidemic. I don't want to lose my mind to it, and I certainly don't want to lose any friends to it. So, man, this is going to be another episode we're going to dedicate to putting one down and not picking one up today. Just, you know, you ain't got to throw the thing out. Just stick it in a drawer and close it. Out of sight. You know? Put it in a little bag, put it in your pocket. Run around all day, but don't take it. You know? Step one is not having a problem. You know? Step one of getting over any problem is not, well, I'm just going to ignore it and it'll go away, or I'm going to say it doesn't exist. You know, step one is making a choice. And that choice is that you can't live like that no more. And this is part of my choice, man. This is part of my lifestyle now. I've chosen a different diet. We're going to move on from my low pain level, we can call it a 3 today, to my diet. First thing I really wanted after all these months of being on blood thinners and not being able to eat any vitamin K, so nothing green, all I really wanted was a salad. But then I walked by the sushi and I was like, oh man. So I got me some sushi, and then I grabbed a couple salads. I just got the fresh stuff from Kroger. It's not the best. It's not the most organically sourced. There is a Sprouts up here. I'm gonna go check it out and see about getting a salad from there. I eventually intend on growing all that myself, so I don't have to outsource. But in the meantime, I'd rather pay a little bit more and it would be organic and locally sourced. So something that wasn't treated and traveled. I believe that the Indian mystics talk about you really want to eat something within 3 hours of it being cut. So I'm picturing myself, like in years to come, out in my garden, down on my hands and knees, biting the stuff when it's growing. But, you know, who knows? That could be a pipe dream. So yeah, a lot of salad yesterday, and a big old plate of sushi. I actually picked up the plate of sushi that I wanted, the same one I would have always gotten before, and looked at it, and I set it down, and I picked up one that just looked a lot more conservative. And guys, I wasn't just like bouncing around in and out of the car yesterday. You know, I got 7,100 steps, so you know, I walked a good fair distance, and with all that walking, you know, I don't have increased pain today from my walking yesterday. And I wonder too if that ain't got something to do with my diet. My brother-in-law made some Brussels sprouts. Oh my Lord, there was garlic and Parmesan. So good. My brother-in-law can cook, which is awesome because my sister got my mama's gift of cooking, which wasn't much of a gift. Okay, so let's move on to my cardiac medicines. My medicines have changed since I had my explant. Now that we're 10 days out, I've got, they've cut my cardiac meds in half, but most notably a couple of things. The first being 0 beta blockers. So my carvedilol, completely gone. Let's see, I've gotten rid of any of the alternate, like the optional meds. You know, my sleeping pills that are supposed to help with depression or whatever, the Remeron. They're also supposed to help you gain weight. I let those go. As long as I'm not in a hospital, I can sleep okay. It was nice to have something to knock me out every day when I wanted it. And if I get back to wanting that, that's a safe alternative to not being able to sleep. But yeah, it's just not for me right now. Another thing is I had to make sure I'm not on any diuretics. This part's going to bridge two subjects, but my resting heart rate is so high, even with perfect blood pressure, that my kidneys are just going wide open. My mouth is constantly dry. I mean, I'm just water. Man, these are like 10 for 10 at Kroger, by the way. You can't beat that. Big old cool bottle with a good sipping tip. Can't beat it. But yeah, so I'm talking about dumping water in my body by the gallon, and my body's just waxing that water out because all of a sudden my heart's doing some real work, and my organs don't necessarily know how to act about that. Especially my kidneys with it, because like I said, it's pumping fast, but it's not pumping hard. So my kidneys are just like, okay, well, we'll work real fast, and I'm eating good and drinking good, so they don't have to work hard. But I haven't had any soda, no coffee, no juices that are made from concentrate or artificially sweetened. Well, none really, but I'm not gonna have anything like that. It's mostly been water. Now, I have drank a little bit of seltzer water, and it's lemon lime flavored. I think they get that at Kroger, and it's just carbonated water and natural flavor. It's kind of like drinking a Sprite. If you've never had a Sprite, that's how I would describe it. And if you've had a Sprite, I'd be like, yeah, it's like a sugar-free Sprite, which everybody knows isn't a thing for a reason. Okay, well, let's move on. Exercise, I touched on that a little bit. 7,100 steps yesterday. That's with no pain, no aches, no stress, no that's just me walking around, leaving the hospital, going to the grocery store twice, and then just being around with the family. That's not even going out and exercising, really. That was just staying active and being up and not coming back to live on this couch. My sister has a beautiful home, and I love her couch, but it's got a me-sized hole in it on the right side, and it fits me too good. I wasn't going to come back and live in it. But plenty of exercise. And this morning, if it wasn't pouring rain, I was going to go down to the lake and just walk around, maybe do some meditation, maybe walk until I can't stand it, and then meditate until I can't stand that, and then walk back. That sounds like a good idea. Actually, I might do that in the rain. If I can find a shirt that's relatively waterproof, because I'm waterproof now because I had a full explant, but my wounds aren't healed. So I can't be getting everything wet and dirty, and I'm going to. I just can't do it yet. Otherwise, that would sound perfect. I'll take a walk in the pouring rain and then sit there and meditate till I can't stand it, and then walk back. But like I said, that's for another day. That's for further down the road. All right, so let's see. Accurate heart monitoring. Let's go with my resting heart rate. Okay, this is still my biggest medical issue, and it's getting lower all the time. Right now, let's see what my watch is showing. 10% battery. My watch is showing 101 beats per minute right now. So that's resting. That's sitting still. It's also probably down about 10 points, maybe 15. It's just not super accurate, especially for somebody that's going through or having an explant. It seemed to be pretty accurate when I was sitting here with my LVAD, but it really doesn't. When I was walking around the 8th floor at Piedmont, it wasn't matching what was on the telly. The telegraphic EKG is projected on TVs on the walls. And so I could walk around, I could see what my heart rate was, and I could compare it to my watch. So I'm pretty good at knowing what the difference is going to be right now. But for today and yesterday, I'm guessing. And, and that's really my only health issue, so I don't need to be guessing. I need to get it where it needs to be, between 140 and 150, and I need to keep it right there in that tight little line as much as I can stand to. And by as much as I can stand to, guys, I can't overdo it. I can't go out here and fall out. I can't, man. I'll end up back in the hospital with my chest peeled back open, getting a heart transplant, because I'm not really eligible for another pump. Because of all the scar tissue and everything from going back in. And And honestly, because of the issue with my leg, if that happened and it became emergent that I needed a heart, I'd probably lose my leg. And guys, I want y'all to know again, I wouldn't quit then. I'd be the one-legged man with heart failure. At this point, I'm just not going to give up. Everybody talks about how strong I am. Everybody talks about how much of a fighter I am. And while those things are true, I am strong and I do love to fight. That is not what has saved me. I mean, the meek will inherit the earth, I promise. My good attitude and my support team is what I give credit to first. The power of prayer, the power of positive thinking. But yeah, so because of that high resting heart rate, I've got to be able to exercise all the time, and I really need an accurate means of reporting that. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to go buy a strap, and it's just a chest strap, and it goes around. I'm going to pay the extra money and get a Garmin brand, but it goes around my chest, and has a little monitor. It'll Bluetooth to my watch or my phone. Hang on, guys, got a call coming through from the hospital.